Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. My name is Bill Allen. I'm sitting in for Winston Chester this morning, who is scalloping. I'm just going to tell you the truth. He's not sick. He's playing hooky. He's over there scalloping. He can't stand it. It's the thing that he loves to do the most, and I can't blame him because I do too. But he's called me and asked me to set in, and I'm happy to do that. We got a real good show lined up for you today. Got a special guest that you're going to recognize. We're going to talk about fishing the conditions in the bay right now and give you some tips and strategies on how to fish this dirty water and even with some of this high wind. And speaking of tides, we got a high today at 9:59 a.m., a low tonight at 8:58. St. Joe, basically the same for you guys going scalloping. You got a 9:50 high tide this morning and a low at 8:24. It's hot. Temperature today is going to reach 90 or a little better, and low tonight is 76. Now 90 doesn't sound too bad, but when you've got as much humidity as we've got going on now, it is rough out there, folks. You need to take plenty of water with you. Fish early and fish late if you can. The same thing scalloping, because it gets dangerous out there when the humidity is this high. We're going to go ahead and take our first break, come back with our special guest today.
Your vision is precious. If an emergency arises, you don't want to be sitting in a hospital waiting room. Accidents and injuries can happen outside of your workday. That's why our team of physicians provide emergency eye care to our patients anytime, day or night. You can count on your local experts in eye care to be there for you whenever you need us. The Eye Center of North Florida.
9 doctors, 1 vision, yours.
At Panhandle Educators, we offer full-service banking.
We're 5-star rated.
A safe place for your money.
Find us anytime, anywhere.
Or come see us on Highway 77 north of the mall. On the east side, across from Rutherford High School.
Come see us at the beach on R. Jackson Boulevard.
We're here in Southport on Highway 77.
Live or work in Bay, Holmes, Jackson, or Washington County? You can be a member.
Join us. We'll take care of you.
Panhandle Educators Federal Credit Union.
Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team. Beat the rush and stock up on our team shirts and hats in a wide variety of colors and sizes. For your convenience, we offer a Panhandle Outdoors shop at panhandleoutdoors.net. Simply visit our website and click shop.
You can also check out our selection at Sunjammers Water Sports on Panama City Beach. Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team.
We are so lucky to live in North Florida. We have some of the best fresh and saltwater fishing in the world. My biggest problem is not catching fish, but trying to decide what kind of fish I want to catch. No matter what I'm after, I always stop at Sunjammers Water Sports first. They have just what I need: rods and reels, line, tackle, and most important, live bait. Yes, sir, we sure are lucky.
Welcome back. I'm excited to have somebody that you're going to recognize, a veteran from Panhandle Outdoors. Is now Captain Matt Smith, a good friend of mine and a great fisherman. And we're going to a little bit later talk about some of the conditions that are out there right now. But Matt, you're out, you're guiding, which I'm jealous of you guys out there making a living on the water. But tell me what you're doing. Where are you doing it right now?
It's good to see you, Bill. Good morning. Staying really busy. This is the peak of the year. Now, a lot of times people ask, what is the best time of year? My favorite's probably early spring, fall. But when, going to do most of your business in the charter business is when people are here on vacation, ready to go fishing. And
the best time is when you can go, right?
That's right, and then that's what you tell people. And most of the time, people are looking out, get out, spend time on the water with the family, have a good time, and catch fish. And we were talking a little bit last night before we kind of getting ready for the show, and talking about what type of fishing. And I really specialize in inshore bay fishing. Yep. And I've got an 18-foot beaver tail flats boat, and it's just perfectly suited for staying in the bay. I do a lot of shallow water.
And then about that much water, right?
I try to, in the fall and the winter, stay up. Now, you know, we were just talking about the IFA redfish tournament and those tough conditions. This is a tough time of year. I have a lot of people call that want to do the shallow water red fishing, and I do everything I can to kind of persuade them to do really what's most effective this time of year. That can be a long, tough day, staying shallow. My personal opinion, those fish just don't stay up shallow. Real long window. Their feeding window is very short this time of year. You got a lot of boat traffic, just not ideal conditions. So what I really try to specialize in this time of year is live bait. Live bait's very hard to beat in the high water temperatures, and stay around the moving water. We talk about that all the time. Your first 4 hours of your day, or your last 4 hours before dark, and try to coordinate with the tide. A good incoming tide in the morning this time of year, falling tide in the afternoon, and specialize in live bait fishing, which has become increasingly difficult after Tropical Storm Debbie.
It really has, but you know, all levels, right? I mean,
all levels.
Got people going with you who have never fished before. They
That's
want
right.
to learn something about this, so you kind of act as teacher on that. But then you got people that fish a lot, and they want to go with that professional guide to try to pick up some tips on how to get to the next level.
That's right, and then that's where really you really got to talk with people. That's why, you know, Justin and I, we get a call, we talk with somebody, sometimes 10 or 15 minutes. I want to make sure that I suit the trip according to their skill level and their desire and what they're looking for. Sometimes we have to adjust the expectations, but that's exactly right. Anything from kids to the most experienced anglers.
And I know when I've taught people to fish, or you know, help some people along like that, I mean, you know, for them to get excited about it, start catching fish, that's a great feeling. It is,
and ultimately that's what, you know, sometimes you set out. We all know you kind of have an idea what you want to do when you get out on the water. It's no 2 days on the water are ever the same. The conditions are always changing, and so sometimes you go out to target one fish in one area, and things, I always like to say, fish the moment.
Be flexible.
Be flexible. let the wind, the conditions, let things take you where they will. Don't be necessarily so set on doing one thing, because more than likely you may miss out on other opportunities in the area.
Now you're doing some fly fishing as well. I know that's close to your heart too.
Would love to do the fly fishing, and I love to fish artificials. When I go fish by myself, that's what I really love to do. But what I try to do this time of year is always start with some live bait. Always have that on the boat. That's just a really good way to start. And always have some artificials rigged up for fly anglers to do the same. Always have some flies available. They usually always bring their foam fly rod, and then when we get in those areas, get it around some active fish. You want to work a fly in there, you want to work a plug in there, get some surface feeding activity. That's the kind of the way I approach it.
Would you know, you just never know.
You
don't know what they're on that day,
Nope.
and if you go out there with, you know, with your favorite whatever tied on and fish that all day, it's going to be a long day, most likely.
It is, and you know, that comes from years on the water, learning when to say, hey, this is, you know, the old saying with the tournaments, bass fishing all those years, you know, fishing on memories will get you beat every time. And
that's right.
And you know, and we all kind of have now. Not everybody gets on the water as much as we do, but you always want to kind of tend to do what worked for you last time. Well, a lot of times you got to think, well, when's the last time I was out here, or what were the conditions, and not necessarily box yourself in.
Which goes to, and I've not been as consistent with it as I should, and I know a lot of people who are really good who fish, they keep a little fishing log.
That's absolutely.
The conditions, the temperature of the water, the air temperature, and things like that, and tide, and because when those things repeat themselves, then the fish are going to repeat the pattern that they're feeding.
You'll definitely see a pattern, and one of the main things is the time of year. Fish do what I call perennial areas, where year in, year out, with exception of a mild winter like we had this year, it changed so much that it was inconsistent. But you will have fish in certain areas year in, year out due to water conditions, bait. There's just a lot of different variables, but that's right. Kind of starting to see that pattern, and I don't keep a record like I should. I wish I did.
I got the book and I got the stuff, and I'm not as consistent as I should be, and I'd be better if I was.
I'm always running tight on time, and it's just kind of one of those things, and you run off memory, and I catch myself out there, you know, thinking, man, if I would have had this in mind and started the day this way, the day would have been, you know, had a different outcome. But, you know, sometimes sometimes that leads you into kind of fishing the moment and staying flexible too.
Sure, that's true. And you know, it's just a cool thing to do. I mean, you can sit back and look on that stuff, and you know, I don't remember things as well as I used to, so it helps me out some. All right, we're about to go. We're going to take our first break here, then we're going to come back and talk about the current conditions that we got and how you can fish it.
Clay O'Neill's Land Clearing. When you need land clearing, pond digging, road building, or any type of excavation, Clay O'Neill's Land Clearing is fully equipped to handle it. If the job is big or small, he covers it all, serving the Florida Panhandle from Madison County to Escambia County. He's just a phone call away. Hey, thanks, Clay, for another job well done.
Harold Milling Company, rough and tough dog food. Harold Milling Company builds it. They build hog feed, they build dairy feed, they make chicken feed. They have specialty feeds for rabbits. If you got a worm farm, grandmother used to have a worm farm. Look at the Harold Milling Company. You want to go down and get you, the dog's not running anymore. That's all over with. You want to get that 16% and drop down from the 26% protein. You don't want old Rover to get fat. Harold Milling Company, you can buy at almost any feed store in the Panama City area.
Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team. Beat the rush and stock up on our team shirts and hats in a wide variety of colors and sizes. For your convenience, we offer a Panhandle Outdoors shop at panhandleoutdoors.net. Simply visit our website and click shop.
You can also check out our selection at Sunjammers Water Sports on Panama City Beach. Come join the Panhandle Outdoors team. When you stop by Blue Water Outriggers, you will find everything for your outdoor adventure. Stock up on all your favorite brands and shop for some of the latest outdoor gear and accessories. You can also shop online and have your orders delivered straight to your home. Our flagship store is nestled right off the Highway 98 in the Port City Shopping Center, just steps away from the Port St. John Marina. You will love our selection, our prices, and our friendly service.
Welcome back. I'm here, as you know, with Captain Matt. And right now, I mean, fishing was hot.
Fishing was hot.
I mean, the pictures have been flowing through here, been catching redfish like they were going out of style, and Tropical Storm Debbie comes through, and it's a new world.
I can almost back up a little bit. When we were catching the bait, we were catching in the end of February with that mild winter, the pilchards and the alewives, and if things were so good, I almost thought this is too good to be true. What is going to bring this to an end?
You could walk on the bait.
Oh, it was just unbelievable. And so, you know, yep, everything was just a matter of go out, get the bait, get around the fish, no problem. And now it's tough. It's really tough. You know, we didn't really get the brunt of that storm.
No.
You know, we could have been much worse. We were very fortunate.
Very fortunate.
But
it still left us with no bait for you guys that love to live bait fish. Now there's a ton of you out there. And it left us with dirty water.
Left us with dirty
water.
water.
It's starting to clean up some, but it's dirty. So, I mean, what are you doing? How do you combat that?
Well, the first thing, the biggest challenge, like I say, this time you're doing a lot of live bait fishing, is finding the bait. And it literally has vanished. There were some of the best pilchards we've ever had in the bay. Very plentiful. Catching those morning and afternoon. And those have all but gone. I can't imagine that they've gone out in the Gulf. I don't know that they're out in the, catch them up shallow in and around sand and the grass. And so gone back trying to look for alewives or menhaden, which are next best bait, and those are real spotty. And the problem with those now is so many of them are so big. Hand size or bigger, not real good for trout and redfish.
It takes a big redfish.
It does.
Although they can get that mouth.
I always like the bigger the bait, bigger the fish. But you're out, you need enough baits to have all sizes. So catching those has been a challenge. Once I do catch those, then you're dealing with like you say, the dirty water, and with dirty water comes the fresh water influx, and that's kind of the two things I know we wanted to talk on and focus on. And clean water is always a key fishing in the bay. I like clean water. I feel like most of those fish, most of your game fish, feed by sight. They're visual predators.
Oh yeah.
And when you get the fresh water, or you get the bottom gets churned up and that water gets dirty, I don't necessarily think they leave immediately. But it sure makes them tough to catch.
Oh, it does. It does. And, it's always important, and I know Justin and I have talked about this, and everybody knows, you got to be quiet on the boat.
Very quiet.
Now, especially when you get in this water that's stained and everything else, you're not sight fishing anymore unless you just get lucky and one's waving at you. But you can be on top. You can be a lot closer to these fish.
Sure can.
Than what you know.
Well, and unlike when the water's clear, you know, a lot of times I like to say we've got to see and throw to that fish before he sees us. Well, a lot of times you don't have that opportunity when the water's dirty. So he's close. You're making a lot of noise. You're making a lot of movement. More than likely, you're not going to catch that fish. But trying to adjust and if I have an area that I know has fish in it, and I really think I need to go and depend on that area and give it a shot, I'm going to make some adjustments to try to get in there and give myself a little bit of advantage. Fish differently than I would if I had clear water. Couple things: darker color, artificials. Chartreuse is always good. You always want a darker color. Always try to fish more natural colors in clear water. A darker color will show up. You're going to fish a little slower. The fish is going to be using his lateral line. He's going to be using his other senses to pick up on your lure instead of the sight.
That's exactly right.
Scented baits. All the Gulp products, those work anytime, any condition. They're fantastic. Any kind of scented bait like that, especially in dirty water. He's going to use the senses. This is some Spike It chartreuse dye. You pull that out of the bass box.
That's the dye.
That's right. You put that on the tail of any soft plastic. Just stick it in there for a second, pull it out. Be careful not to hang it over the boat, stain the boat up, but that helps tremendously. And then the old popping cork. I think I said on the last show, I really don't fish with a popping cork a whole lot. It's just really not my style of fishing. But in dirty water, don't leave this at home because that surface commotion, that noise, your soft plastic, especially a gulp underneath it, that's going to enable those fish to find it.
You know, we both brought some stuff. We said, you know, we're going to bring some things, and we were laughing at things because right here.
There it is.
Now, I've got them. I'm like you. This is not.
That's not my style.
This is not my style. But if you need to catch fish, and especially for, you know, you're taking some of these younger people with you or less experienced people.
Absolutely.
This is a great way. I mean, you got plenty of noise here. And usually I'm not fishing it too deep.
No.
You know, 12, 18 inches, and you can adjust it according to the water. But, and Greg, you know, our esteemed mayor, he can catch redfish with a popping cork more consistently than anybody I know. Now, I catch trout with it. I mean, I hardly ever catch redfish.
You know what I bet his secret is? He uses it.
He does.
It's like a lot of stuff I put up, and I don't know why.
It's there.
And
wherever we're fishing, and at some point, he's going to have that out and start fishing.
Whether
and that's true.
Clear water, rough, calm, he's going to throw it, and he's going to catch fish.
So there's no doubt. There's no doubt. He just, it's like anything else. You know, you have to believe in it a little bit.
You do, and we've all got our kind of our tried and true preferred methods.
Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to fish topwater if I've got the chance to fish topwater, okay? And that's just how it is. So early, if I've got the chance, even with it stained and things like that. And you like to go on a darker?
I do. I'll throw something with a darker hue. Throws more of a silhouette. Nice thing about the topwater is you've got that surface commotion, and those fish, I believe they can probably see a topwater bait as well as anything under those stained or dirty conditions.
And again, the vibration.
The vibration. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And a lot of times, some of the bigger trout I've caught out of dirty water. But a big trout is very wary. I think that's the smartest creature in shallow water. And you notice, if you ever when you catch a big trout, it won't be around. You won't be catching 15 or 20 trout, 12-inch trout, and then catch a 6-pounder. That's not how it works. You might get one bite all morning in an area, but it'll be that one big fish. But that's a wary fish. They're still going to feed. Got a lot better chance of fooling them on an artificial when that water's dirty and he can't really get a good look at it.
Yeah, no doubt. I believe that too. And this, you know, I've shown you this before. This is the full-size dog. And it's just a lot bigger profile, and it's dark, you know, like you said, it just shows up better. So, you know, if it's a little bit windy, I'm going to fish this. Sure. It's loud, it's a bigger profile, and again, you're going to fish it a little slower in these conditions on everything that you do. So, but, I mean, you go to the popping cork, but you're going to go to the soft plastics, right? I mean, if we were out fishing, you had some experienced people fishing, and you're out there and you got the conditions now, you can't get the bait, your first thing gonna be soft plastic?
Well, I like to throw top water early.
Well,
Of course, now this time of year, and all depend on angler ability. Another problem we have this time of year is grass. If we're gonna get up there, and I get people on the bow, and they make 10 casts and bring back grass on 5 of the casts, we're gonna go ahead and switch. That's
same thing.
It's just not effective.
You can't fish it. You're just not gonna be.
That's right.
Can't work it. All right, let's take our break right here. We'll come back and we'll talk some more about these soft plastics.
When you think of a successful hunting season, 2 things come to mind: browning and CNG Sporting Goods. Browning is the best there is, and CNG Sporting Goods is your factory direct, full-line browning dealer. CNG stocks browning guns, camo, knives, scopes, gun safes, bows, and much more, including hunting and fishing license. Look over the new Browning BAR camo short track and X-Bolt rifles. Why pay good money for anything less than a Browning? Browning and CNG, the best there is. Home of the experts.
Are you still waiting to do something with your IRA, 401k, annuities, or other investments?
My dad has an economics degree from Vanderbilt University, and he helped me with my homework. A lot of people call themselves financial planners, but my dad passed a board exam to be a certified financial planner. He's very easy to talk to, and he spends a lot of time with me.
To my existing clients, thank you for your friendship and loyalty through these uncertain times, and to everyone else, don't wait until it's too late. Call me today, and let's see if I can help.
Bill Kramer's Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC is Panama City's exclusive full-line dealership, built on a 45-year foundation of trust and total customer satisfaction in all departments, including our huge pre-owned department, where we'll pay top dollar for your current automobile as a trade-in, or we'll place your vehicle on our lot and help you sell it. At Bill Kramer's Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. 4 decades, 3 generations, 1 tradition.
Sunrise to sunset. A walk through nature takes you on a journey of Florida's Emerald Coast. You'll encounter the wildlife, birds, lighthouses, indigenous to the beautiful land and seascapes of Florida. Set to the sounds of nature and enhanced with easy listening music. Only $14.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling. NatureWalkDVD.com, or send check or money order to the address on the screen. A walk through nature. Visually stunning.
Welcome back. We're talking about fishing, the current conditions that we have with this dirty water and these windy conditions that we're getting, the grass and everything else, and you love it like we do. You fish that top water till you can't fish it, or it's just full of grass and it's impossible. So then it's plastics, right?
It's plastics and soft plastics. Of course, the live bait's always effective. And speaking of those, tough conditions, those conditions are going to be the toughest in very shallow water. Because you've got your, places like West Bay, you've got a pretty silty bottom in and around that grass. Your shallow points, places where you typically do a lot of your fishing, those are going to be the most churned up by the wind. A lot of times that dirty water gets pushed in there. You get the grass. Anytime you're in shallow water, it's just you have more variables working against you. So moving out a little deeper, getting in a little bit cleaner bottom, maybe over some sand, something that's not so churned up will work better for you too. And you can look in the water and tell it's cleaner. And
how are you rigging these plastic baits?
Depends. If I'm out in clean open water, I like just a plain old weighted jig head. There again, if I was in dirty water, I'd put a chartreuse painted head. I think that would help. Most of the time I fish unpainted. Just an open hook. That's going to be highest percentage hookup ratio. Get it around the grass. I like a weighted hook, like an owner. 1/8 ounce. And then that's weedless, and you're able to fish it right through the grass. And there again, fishing it slow. I don't really work it real fast right up under the surface. I kind of like to almost just let that bait drag across the bottom, whether it's in sand or grass. And as it's going along, it's kicking up silt and sand, looks like a shrimp or a crab or something natural.
That's what I was going to say. You got to fish it a little bit slower.
You do.
And like you said, the gulp baits and the right colors. And I've got some of these, with me this morning that I use. You can smell these. I took them right out of the box. But these 4-inch shrimp in this color. And of course they make them in a mud minnow here. Right. You ever use those?
I haven't used it a lot, and I don't. That's one of those I know it'll work.
Very effective. I really like those. But and even if you go to the DOAs, there's colors out there. That's out of this world. But now, You know, you talked about that dye, and I thought I was gonna we were gonna duplicate this, but this Procure. If you're not fishing the Gulf,
that's right.
This is a great thing to have. You can put it on spoons. You can put it on top water. You can put it on these DOAs and everything, and that kind of thing. And it's going to throw. You don't want this on you.
Well, and you know, some folks may say, well, you know, I don't know if that really works. Well, whether or not you think it may work, it can't hurt. That's
especially again when we're talking about fishing this kind of water, that scent that you're putting out there. You know, I mean, that's important. Never relying on other senses besides sight. And you know, once I've, you know, like you said, you being flexible, you know, and you go through these things that we're talking about, and then you know, you just got to. Sometimes you just got to keep going. But in the pattern, and we were talking about this in the break a little bit. If this isn't working, your next step.
That's the next step. That's where the live bait comes in.
If you've got it.
If you've got it, if you can catch it, and that's, you know, it's really hard to be consistent. And, you know, at the end of the day, people want to catch fish, have a good time, and not everybody enjoys being up on the front of the boat 4 or 6 hours as much as we do, throwing, chunking, and winding. I can go out and fish all day, you know, and I enjoy casting and presenting a lure, looking for fish. But, you know, sometimes just getting on the power pole or the anchor, getting set up, putting some baits in the water, that's hard to beat. Speaking of which, I had father and 2 sons from Woodstock, Georgia on the boat yesterday afternoon. Third bite we got was a 3-foot blacktip shark, and he was tagged.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. That's cool.
By National Marine Fisheries, got their number and says reward. So we'll call in and see where he was tagged, where he came from, and we'll send him a picture.
That's such a neat program. You can get involved in some of that stuff. I mean, that's a great thing to do.
Very interesting.
You know, we've talked about a lot of different things we can do, and I know you were telling me something here earlier. You got a tip here that I found to be great.
Got a real good tip. This will be a Panama City inshore tip of the day. This actually came from Justin. He's pretty clever. Got this idea from him. But just a good pair of shears, stainless if you can. And instead of buying frozen chum or making your own, if you got those baits in the live well, just keep these shears in the boat. Pull some of those dead baits, even some of your live out. I like to hang my dip net, my little small dip net over the side of the boat, and cut those baits into pieces, just little quartered, dime-sized pieces. Get enough in there, and then, especially with strong currents, you don't want to throw it way out because it's going to get away from the boat.
Exactly.
And whether you're inshore, offshore, anywhere out there, and you're really trying to get things going, this is a really handy, something you have all the time. You don't have to really have a lot of preparation with other chum. And
everything on the boat ought to be stainless.
Absolutely. No doubt.
It
you
just
can't
doesn't
go wrong.
last if you don't. But, you know, everybody chums offshore. But not that many people think about it when you're doing this inshore fishing.
And it's amazing what, you know, the difference in throwing a couple baits overboard and actually sitting there and chumming with those pieces. It won't be long. You'll have fish in the area. Now, sometimes, you know, you get your Spanish mackerel, your bluefish, but it is just a great way to really get the fish most active.
Yeah. Real quick, we've kind of worked our way through this. Express Lane fishing game forecast today. Peak times 11 to 1 today, midday, and then 9:30 to 11:30 tonight. Matt, as always, I appreciate it, brother.
Bill,
we can do this for 2 hours, but we got to get out of here, do something good for somebody, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.